All right. Okay, everyone. Good evening again. This is, of course, Melvin. If you do not already, some of you are logging in from across the causeway, maybe in Malaysia. I may or may not have actually spoken to you or actually given you a talk, but Melvin here. And just 2 days ago, I was sitting in with also into the Perry's presentation. Perry did the entire 2 hour without a single slide. Okay, so he spoke, and what we have is that we have been given several slides, and obviously the file itself comprises of I think up to about 40 slides, but some of them are going to be pretty hardcore in terms of the technicality. But what I've done is that I've also mixed with some other slides into the thing so that you would have a pretty good idea as to why we are doing this light fasting, why it's going to be light, because Inchaway has been doing, providing through the provision of superfoods to make sure that you stay healthy, nothing based on medicine. And through our practice, for example, through our detox camp, we have found a lot of success, especially online. So right now, what we're going to do is start trying to do this light fasting. Now, light fasting is almost like fasting, but with training wheels on. Okay, you're going to take it easy, slow. So I'm going to put you into my first slide. I've basically been motivated by learning about this Nobel laureate. This is he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 2016 for something he did actually back in the 90s. Of course, he's professor emeritus of the Tokyo Institute of Technology. It's Yoshinori Osumi. So afterwards, we're going to talk about him. Let's get started. Please read this carefully, okay? Because we're going to provide a lot of information. Some of them will actually get you thinking about even not only changing your diet, but perhaps changing your medication. Now, you do not do that, okay? You're only going to do that in consultation, right? In consultation with someone, for example, like your own family doctor. Okay, so after consultation. So whatever I've presented here through today's discussion, of course, I'm going to leave a bit of time at the end so that we can have everyone actually turn on the screen and ask questions so we can exchange ideas. But whatever content that's presented today are based on research and facts of sometimes multiple sources. But having said that, even doctors, medical practitioners may not totally agree with each other as the status stand in the medical field today, right? So based on what you heard today, 哪怕你心思上要想去换停止你的药 you want to stop your medication, do not do that. Okay, let's get started. This is who we're talking about. He's the emeritus professor, Yoshinori Osumi. He was born back in 1945 in Fukuoka, Japan. And over the years, he actually went to do his, after his PhD in Japan, he went to do his postdoctorate in the US, spent a lot of time research, and he's doing all the slow part, easy, tough research that nobody, no other doctorate, theses would like to write about. And one of them is what we're going to talk about later today, okay? Autophagy, and that is something that we'll cover, including exactly what the norm is today for autophagy practice, for fasting, etc., etc. Okay, let's get going. So we have already planned, and we heard it from Perry the other day, right? That right now, at first was 1,000. Okay, the tagline would say that how about if you would actually do your fasting together with 1,000 other people from both Singapore and Malaysia. As we know it, just 2 days ago, we heard it from Perry himself that the number of people who have registered right now exceeds 2,000. So you are not alone. It's fasting and slimming down and staying healthy, eating all the bland food. Sometimes you think that they may be bland. It's usually a very lonely business. Okay, well, I'm going to make sure that you will not stay lonely. We have got arranged it. And important thing is right now is that through correct eating habits, which we will actually instill throughout the entire camp. So there is a pre and during and then an after phase. I actually bring out the calendar here. You find that starting already, right, from the 2nd of March, which is just next week, we're going to prepare you Okay, we're going to feed you with information. You're going to do 4 days before of light fasting. This is a slowly ramp up. We're going to make the ramp a very low angle gradient ramp for you. Okay, you have to prepare for it. Now, Perry sort of the other day said jokingly, now sometimes 你可以偷吃啊 by the time, okay, after hearing today's presentation, by the time you hit the actual fasting period, we hope that you will not cheat. Okay. Having said that, of course, I know that depending, some of you may not know your existing physical condition, so you may have to just go slow. But what you try to do is that over the first 4 days, figure out if you are able to maintain, right? Because important thing is fasting only works if you fast. The moment you cheat, the moment you feed yourself, the moment you actually have got higher blood sugar in your body, the moment your insulin start kicking in, things go awry again. It's almost like you have to reset the whole clock. All right. So why we have a 4 days ramp up is that so that you can actually learn, slowly adapt. Then let us know. Right? We have more than 2,000 people that's on the same boat with you. Okay, on the same boat, traversing through the same storm. It could be a perfect storm, but ultimately we may have perfect results that after that, 4 days, 12 days, at the other end of it, when you step on your weighing scale, you're going to be quite a few kilos lighter. Okay, so 4 days before, judge for yourself. Also let us know. Okay, let all instructors know, let everyone that's leading this light fasting session program know how you are doing. As long as we have got plenty of nutritionists on the staff, so they would be able to advise, perhaps there'll be certain change. But what we have done here is that this program is already based on not just something that was cooked up over the last week. This was based on a lot of fact finding and a lot of trial, a lot of feedback that has been accumulated since Inchoe started. So it's been done over the years. So this plus what we have done with, for example, our detoxification camp, we know what we're doing, we know what our products can do, and hopefully after today's talk, my sharing with you, right, you would also go into more appreciation of each one of our range of products, right, from the oil, from the lipids, fatty acids, to our Cell Pro, the food for your cell itself, why there are so many amino acids, why the amino acids, which are proteins, are so important when you're doing fasting, so on and so forth. Okay, so like say, this is going to be a very gradual ramp up. We're going to let you find your own level, first 4 days. Thereafter, jokes aside, if you really want to be effective, you want to lose quite a bit of weight, at least you owe it to yourself to try it, then try not to cheat. Okay, especially during the evening period, for example, right? Perry did mention that perhaps if it's the 2 p.m. afternoon session, sometimes some people may cheat. But the fact is that if you can, even if you do cheat sometimes, make sure you do not do any intake of food, have any intake of food after 8 p.m. at night. So, but never mind, we have our own team of people that will be guiding you. So the first 4 days is very important. First 4 days is actually having you learn about your own physiology, how your body is going to react when you go into the main real. Well, this is not hardcore enough actually. Hardcore enough if people do not fast. They fast for 24 hours. All right. So we're going to have this 18, 6, and over a period of 72 hours. We hope that during that 72 hours, you will do your best and give us your best. Okay, let's get going. Now, we know that, for example, look at here is that everyone by now, especially people, our family members, 我们的语味家人 that has been with us for a couple of years, you know that there are a lot of foods, right, that's really no good for us. We are practically, effectively eating ourselves into problems, all right? We're eating ourselves into sickness. We're eating ourselves into weight problems. We're eating ourselves into neurological problems. We feel depressed, so on and so forth. So omega-3, omega-6, omega-9 right now, omega-7, all that with our intro oil has been helping you. You realize that. So looking at this picture, okay, you already know this fact, but let me give you some fact. Let me bring you back to a time before so-called our modern civilization changed our eating habits. Okay, let's look at how the earlier generation of people eat. Okay, let's start with, for example, they actually call it, right, from the start, the diseases of civilization. This including, of course, all the cardiac problems, coronary artery diseases. You have got your blockages, your arteries, all that. Obesity. Everyone's getting fat. At one time, entire generations in China, okay, all the younger generations are all obese, right? Because at that time, perhaps they only allowed one child. So that's like the emperor or the little empress, all right? Diabetes, okay? All this is civilian. Before that, it's unheard, yeah? Colorectal cancer, this is large intestine, obviously. Breast cancer, tooth decay. No such thing as tooth decay previously, okay? Constipation, right? You simply wait now a few days and you feel that it's normal. You have to go to detoxify, and the number one, the toilet every day, not a few days later. So all this were actually collected. This was something that was reacted over, let's say, the early 1900s. What they found is that the scientists, the missionaries that went to Africa, originally find they don't have this problem, but ultimately they found that some people, some of them, small amount percentage, started to have all these diseases. You know why? What they realized that it's when the local natives try to adapt and follow the white men, their lifestyle, okay, their food stuff, whatever they're eating, the way they're drinking, that the problem started. Okay, let's go through one by one and you see what I mean. Take a look at this. These are the early native nations. The early native nation includes perhaps North America, the Canada, so you have the Red Indians and all that. Okay, what they found, these are what compiled by scientists, what they found is that malignant diseases, of course includes cancer, okay, are extremely rare, almost non-existent. They didn't see any cases. Number two, not one pronounced instance of advanced arterial sclerosis. Okay, that means no detection of any blood vessels blockages, no cardiac problem. They definitely will not have any stroke. People were just able to continue, okay, their daily life, living plainly, eating as they are. Afterwards, I'll show you the diet. Some of the diets are considered to be very bad for us today. They simply just live on that, okay? The Inuit, these are the Eskimos, okay? So the Eskimos, where you find that, right, they have got nothing. There's no cancer at all. Over that few years, they have been testing it. And from 1950 to 1974, they have only one single case of diabetes, all right? Guess what? And what does the Inuit, what does the Eskimo eat? I mean, they have got no vegetables, right? They are usually all on fats, right? The whale fat, the blubber, the fish, so on and so forth. A lot of meats, right? This is what we've been doing, but not a single, except one, right? Their diabetes. The rest of that, no cancers, no nothing. Okay? Same thing, the Maasai. Now, this is a Maasai group of people. They rarely have got access to any vegetables. Okay, so they're doing a lot of diet of milk, right? That's why it's all pastoral. And meat, red meat. So it's like meat, blood stuff. Again, nothing. What they have is that you found there's no high blood pressure, no obesity. None, in the entire tribe over the years, despite what they are eating, okay? Despite their diet being what we thought to be, what we sometimes think, even modern day nutritionists say that, no, today, if you take this food alone, it's not good. It's not a balanced diet. But look at them. They're not balanced. But these are early days, before the food, okay, got contaminated. Look at this. This one is particular, this group of people, Turkey Center, they are almost totally carbo. Okay, today, if we take carbo, afterwards I explain why. If it's today, it's all carbo, we say cut, low carb. We have to do low carb diet. But these guys, they are mostly almost 95% just carbs. Okay? Investigation found that really there's no sign of any even protein deficiency. Although they don't take meat. They are 95% carbohydrate. All right? This one, Okinawa, a lot of people like to go, Chongsen Dao, in the south of Japan. Other than being well known for the karate, being the founding place of karate, we know that Okinawans are some of the longest living humans in the world. They are super long life. And again, their diet is almost like 85% carbo. And yet, they can maintain an average BMI, body mass index of like 20.4. These are the Okinawans. Why carb, which is supposed to be bad. Okay, today is definitely bad. And yet you have like, Okinawans, the Maasai, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, the conclusions are this, is that populations could still be healthy with diets of 95% carbo and 95% meat. Okay, that means majority protein, majority carbos. In the past, they can still be healthy, right? On the conditional on no refined or processed foods. That is the biggest problem today. You and I, okay, it's hard for us to not be exposed and not be consuming refined or processed foods, right? Processed carbo, that's the problem, right? Where your sugars and all come in. No flour, no sugar. That's it. Okay, if you have got pure, unrefined, unprocessed carbo, no flour, no sugar, of course the sucrose, the glucose, the fructose and all that, you're completely fine. But today we can't. We are unable to live life. So one of the saying with it in Chow is that you must stay healthy. All right? To be able to eat unhealthy food, we must remain very healthy. And that's true in Chow superfoods, right? So let's go on. The other thing is also during the early days, right? They also did. This is in the 60s, 50s, 60s. They already start looking. The problem they call it the saccharine disease. Saccharine, obviously, another name for sugar. Sweet tooth, people that takes a lot of sweet, that is where you have all this problem. And guess what? A lot of the food manufacturers, people that actually churn out and start selling food to supply to all around the world, right? Because of the logistic advancement, right? During those days, ships starting to sail across. It's not only just a silk route, right? Selling silk. So you have got food. So what the manufacturers of food stuff, what one should do is that they are trying to design food stuff, right, that evades your satiety signals. Remember when we actually do as one point, for example, if you take, for example, our Cell Pro, it'll actually, or for example, the New Balance, right? It will actually cut down on your need to feel hungry, right? That's satiety. But the food manufacturers, sometimes they design or make the food, produce food such that you do not feel as though you have had enough. Whether you're already 100% or 90% full, you feel, gee, I think I can still have that piece of cake after this, whether it's a full chocolate cake or it's a cheesecake, all right? Or your donuts or your spread and all that. Two, from the carbos, what they do, they process, they remove protein. Why? Because by removing protein, processing it off our simple carbo sources, you speed up digestion. And some of them say, no, that's supposed to be good. It helps you, you have got digestive problem. We remove the protein, from all this carbo stuff so that you can actually speed up digestion. Same with fiber. That's why you have constipation. Before that, you didn't have constipation, right? Same with fat, right? Now you don't have enough fat, right? So you again, all this with the excuse under the guise of helping you speed up your digestion. So all these people they remove. Once you have all that processed away, refined away from your pure natural food, we are starting to get into problems, into trouble. Okay, that's what it is all about. So, of course, now every day, whether we're talking about all the nasi lemak, right, all the lemak stuff, all the oily stuff, the Chongqing 火锅,等等, right? All this stuff, what some people will consider to be unhealthy, but right now is something that we are exposed to, that we are inclined to go. Whether you're meeting a friend or whether you're going to have a little lunch or dinner appointment, these are the only food stuff that are available. So what we want to do is that we want to be able to, of course, we can consciously try to control and cut down. You're not going to have oily stuff, super fatty stuff every day. You can control consciously, but if that's the only thing that's available to you, right, to satisfy your hunger pan, then we are restricted to having this food. But the fact that we can stay healthy, okay, with other proper diet, and we knowing how to control it, and we'll get rid of all the toxic stuff, right? That will help us. That will allow us to continue to eat unhealthy stuff. Okay, 吃好油,排坏油, so on and so forth. So now look at this. This one now I'm going to just go and to help you to discuss about, for example, those days of diabetes. Okay, this is an early stage, very early stage you found. Insulin. Now, what does insulin? So on the left here, you look at this picture. This is of a girl, right? If she wasn't treated, she's probably just days or a week or two away from death, certain death. Why? Because her cell is not able, all right, to absorb sugar, glucose. She has TD1, okay? T1D or type 1 diabetes. So with diabetes, of course, at the time they've already, okay, inside diabetes, they know what to do if all she needs is insulin, okay? Insulin should be produced naturally by our pancreas, just behind the liver, right? Our pancreas on a healthy person produces enough insulin. Each time you eat, each time your blood sugar goes up, insulin is pumped out, okay? Insulin is like a lock and key, after I show you how. So by just giving her insulin, okay, the doctors back then, within weeks, she's back to the size. She's normal, right? She lacked insulin, so she has what is known as type 1 diabetes. So this is lacking. Now look at this. The whole paradigm is this, is that it means that cell starvation, okay, the body is starving. That's why she's going down, starving to death until the key comes in to unlock it, and that is insulin. Okay, insulin is known, there's a certain number that looks like little islands inside pancreas. That's why it's called islets. Right? And insula in Greek is actually island. So we are providing that key. Look at this. This is from how does insulin work? Your cell has got a lock. The door is closed most of the time until it needs to feed. And when does it need to feed? It needs someone to unlock it. That key to unlock it comes from insulin. Okay, when you have a problem, that key is faulty, or you can't produce, your so-called own locksmith is faulty. Your pancreas, all the beta cells in your pancreas is already, some of them is dying, is sick, is not producing enough. You have this problem. Now, if based on this theory, okay, for a long time, doctors were treating diabetic patients. Now I've just spoken about type 1. Look at type 2. People who don't have enough. So what they were suggesting back, okay, in this probably within the last 10 years, especially 5 years, the whole mindset has changed. But before that, they say, for example, they recommend that 少吃多餐. Take more meals, right? You can't do it, take never mind, small little amounts, small portions, more meals. What you end up with is you're pumping non-stop insulin throughout the day, right? Now, if lack of insulin, if diabetes is all about cell starvation, then you go and explain this to me. Is this person starving? Is this person cell starving? Why is he this size? Okay, obviously this person is diabetes type 2, most likely, but more likely than not, and almost now a certainty over the last 5 years, we know that this person most likely is confirmed he has insulin resistance. Where does that insulin resistance develop from? How did it form? Okay, so let's look at this. Insulin is this, right? To end cool, this will be very familiar. Okay, travel in Japan, right? Guess what? Let's look at this. So insulin resistance is actually a overflow phenomenon. What does it mean? The thing is that you've been feeding. Each time you consume something, each time the blood sugars goes up, all right? Sometimes, of course, for diabetes type 2, a diabetic patient, it's uncontrollable. They have to go on medication. But each time it shoots up a bit, okay, or you need to eat, then you actually go and inject, right? Inject insulin. Insulin simply just, the key goes in, try to unlock the liver, right? Whereby glucose is actually absorbed, so it becomes glycogen, it becomes a storage. But guess what? It comes onto the day, it actually becomes this size. It becomes this size. Even your liver, there's no more room. All your warehouses are already full. So what you end up with, whether you're going to unlock that warehouse door or not, there's no room for any more storage, right? So there's a backflow. The backflow is the overflow situation, and you'll look like that. So all the glucose is outside, right? And we engage a lot of insulin helpers to try to push the people into our warehouse, into our liver. Okay, but because it's already full, overflow, all of that now is go back. There's a process in the liver called de novo lipo, genesis, whereby it becomes oil, and all those oils right now is push out. All those cholesterol is push out They are just stored everywhere around your body. So look at this. Okay, so this is exactly what's happening. That two little guy that's pushing, these are all your insulin. They're trying to unlock. But guess what? As long as your warehouse is full, you're not going to be able to put anything in. You are putting it in but not using it up. The whole point is that when does the storehouse full of all this glucose, all this glycogen, all this ready fuel, okay, will be taken out to use? It's only when you stop eating. When you stop eating, okay, if let's say we eat 3 meals a day right now on a regular basis, after your breakfast, before your lunch hour, the moment you stop eating, insulin stops. Insulin stops. Then if you're on a run, on a jog, you're doing a heavy lifting and all that, there will be reserve that's now being pulled back out. But the fact that if you're going to pump insulin, providing insulin, unlocking the whole day, just squashing in all this, okay, sugars and all that, and that's part of sugar. You know, sugar comprises of two components, 50% sometimes. One is glucose. The other one is fructose. Fructose is basically fruit, okay, sugar. Now the problem is that, well, your body, your blood sugar will rise up. That's an indication of glucose. The rest of your body cannot, okay, make use of fructose, okay, which is the fruit sugar. That goes all into the liver. It needs the liver. But if the liver is full, right, it's simply just thrown back out as oil, okay, simply as fatty. That's stored outside. That's why we are now instigating and telling you slowly, after this one, you understand why we need to fast, why we need to reactivate the thing. Okay, look at this one. The same guy, same bone structure, perhaps even same muscle mass. But once you get insulin resistance, once the liver, okay, the warehouses are totally filled up, it goes outside all over your body. Definitely first and foremost, you get your fatty liver, you get a big, nice, round belly. Okay? 人家说, wow, hockey, and it is exactly like that. These are all visceral fat. And visceral fat are the hardest to get rid of. How many of you here today, right now, we have got the number of people. I know it's Yuan Xiaojie, but I think a lot of people actually signed up now of that 2,000. Most of them perhaps, right, if not 90%, I would say maybe at least 80%, 80-20, 80% of you would like to lose weight, slim down, okay? You want to prove that yourself, and we can prove it to you if you follow the regime strictly, right? Be honest with yourself, work hard at it. Over that 12 days period, you definitely should be able to get rid of some of this stuff. Obviously, what's the quickest way to get rid of visceral fat? Under the knife. Go for liposuction. Find a plastic surgeon, okay? You pump some chemicals in your body first, few injection, try to dissolve, melt thing, put in a few needles to suck it out. Guess what? Some of them do not live to tell, right? In Singapore, there are already several cases. On the table, on the operating table while they're doing liposuction, they simply just goes away, pass away, right? So for those who are afraid of going under a knife, that's a good thing. But then this means that you would not be able, it's going to be very difficult to get rid of all your fat, right? But now that if you are able to, this is something that we're going to help you start doing, and that's now. After next week started, you'll be able to do this. Guess what? Some people say that overflow is hockey. Overflow is not hockey, right? It's not good fortune, right? All this visceral fat is the most difficult to get rid of. So what you want to do is that the problem is that the moment you develop insulin resistance, okay, unfortunately this is seldom overnight. For example, of all the people here tonight, we don't have to talk about the 1,000 or 2,000 that have signed up, right, registered for our light fasting program over that 12 days. Just you and me, okay, here today. How many of us, not realizing it, may already be pre-diabetic? Sometimes we can, okay, unless you go for a regular blood test, you do your blood sugar test and all that, right? Some of us unknowingly feeling totally good and healthy, okay, may be on a slow process. It could take 8 years, it could take 10 years, it could take 12 years before we develop full-blown diabetes, right? without knowing. Now, especially for those of us here, that the moment you touch it, we have got a big belly, or our weight is a bit heavy, our BMI is a bit too high. We are the most at risk. Okay, don't say that while you're young is okay. I'm still young. I'm 25. I'm 30. So this size, I can go to the gym and work it away. Fine. But over the next 15 years, even youngsters can slowly go from a pre-diabetic to a full-blown diabetic. When that happens, it's tough, okay? So once you have that, right, insulin resistance is a very, very serious problem. So let's say you go and see a doctor. You go to the polyclinic. I've actually known a few close friends. That's what they do. They have actually early stage, their blood sugar is a bit high. So you know what they do? The doctors will go there, or the polyclinic will tell them, let's start off with a certain dose, okay? Probably 1 dose of insulin a day, and see how it goes. We will monitor it for you. You come back in 2 weeks' time, again, we measure it, we monitor it. But if you look at yourself, you really know that your size is not exactly your best BMI, okay? Not in the perfect ideal BMI range. There's something wrong. You must try to do it. Of course, there's also some of us here that are already known full-blown diabetic, that doctors have been telling us for the last 25 years that this is permanent. There's no way to cure or be cured of diabetes. Okay? Guess what? In the last, especially like say the last 5, 6, 8 years, the whole thing has been overturned. You can, even as a full-blown diabetic now, you may be able to totally recover. Your so-called beta cells that's been known to be said to be totally dead, that can no longer produce insulin, some of them can be revived. They can come, okay, alive again. Okay, that's why we're going to talk about the ability, right, for yourself to now go on a fast and start getting rid of some of this stuff. Okay, so insulin resistance is a really, really big problem. Look at this. These are some charts. Like say, Perry spoke 2 hours without a single chart. Now I got a lot of charts to deal with, but I think it's a good thing because it'll be less, something that you have to imagine. Look at this. I'm just going to jump through, and as long as it's a pictorial illustration, I'm going to explain. Okay, look at the one on the left. That's your normal blood sugar. Everything is hunky-dory, no problem. Glucose is stored in the liver, as glycogen. As and when the moment you stop eating, you're exerting, you need fuel. Fuel is now pumped up, okay, from the liver. Guess what? Now, how does our body makes the fuel? Okay, usually most people know that there's three ways, or I would say that maybe some of you thought that there's only one way. That's to eat carbo, right? Eat something that's sweet, sugar. Okay, you know that sugar will be produced, can be converted into glucose. That's a fuel we need. But guess what? Sugar is only one of the type, okay, of raw material to produce fuel for our body. We can use protein, okay, type 2, and we can use, of course, fatty acids. That's why I've got friends, I've got certain friends that's on a certain special diet. They take 1 bottle of 50 ml of our incha oil every day. 1 day, 1 bottle, because they are totally off carbo, okay, for a certain condition, including early stage Alzheimer's, so on and so forth, right? So there are 3. So what happens is that, why is it people feel that, it's easy, you take energy drink, right? You buy energy, very sweet, has got caffeine, you wakes up, you get a sugar rush. Right now, you 好精神, you just wakes up. Your body, if you give them all the sources, all 3 of them, your body would usually go and make use of the sugars first, the carbos first. Okay, one supposition is this. Why? Is it because it's the best? No, one supposition is this, is that your body is trying to get rid of the worst kind of thing, the most toxic fuel raw material, and that's sugar, right? You have sugar, you have protein, you have fatty acids, you have lipids. Your body will try to get rid of your body of the bad sugar first. You use that up, then your body will resort to using proteins, a combination which is very rich in our cell pro and all that, and of course resort to our fatty acids, your incha oil and all the other oils that we're consuming. Those things has been stored. That's why we need to sometimes starve our body. Okay, later on when we get to the problem of what you call self-eating, look at this guy. Okay, against once you're on insulin resistance, you feel your body is going to tell you something. Your body is going to feel very lethargic. You're going to feel very heavy. You're going to feel very lazy, right? Sometimes you feel bloated, so on and so forth. These are all the things. And then you have this craving. I always need. I'm one prime example. Although I'm not diabetic, I hope I'm not even pre-diabetic. I maintain it quite well, body, sugar and all that. I'm a regular consumer, at least for some time. Now, right now, I can take probably just a can a day. Or a month, from a day to a month. Coca-Cola, super sweet stuff. It just gives you a lift because of the carbonated drink, right? Sometimes, so any soda for that matter. So soda, you have got a carbonated drink, you have carbon dioxide, okay, the bubbly stuff, and of course that sugar rush that gives you. So you simply just wakes up very fast. But that is of course super bad. Okay, that's of course super bad. And as we continue, same thing, right? You look at all that. Once you go through that phases, you get things you cannot actually store. Your livers are full. Your liver's already a fatty liver. Now it pushes it out. Now the whole layer of the oil is now cholesterol is all forming around your belly, forming also around some of your other organs, and so on and so forth. Then your whole entire body physiology changes and changes for the worse. So much so that until one day, some of them will get actually accelerated. Okay, accelerated formation from a pre-diabetic to a full-blown diabetic. Right? Let's do the same thing. When all this now, unfortunately, insulin resistance don't come by itself. You say, okay, I only got one problem, right? Which is if the doctor mentioned insulin resistance. Insulin resistance, unfortunately, come as a package deal. Okay, so and for a package deal, and that package deal is called metabolic syndrome. All right, you get a lot of problem. So other than storing, not being able to store additional fat, it get pushed out, right? You get physiological problems, you got neurological problems, right? Your mind, certain people try to fog up. That's why you have type 1 diabetes, your type 2, T2D, type 2 diabetes, which in the most cases right now, from that picture I say, right, it is not cell starvation, it is over fat cells, FED, and of course it makes you FAT, fat. And there's also a school of thoughts that, that something like mental, brain issues, your Parkinson's, your dementia, especially your Alzheimer. There's been proposition to actually also know or call Alzheimer as type 3 diabetes. Of course, that's not being accepted adopted by WHO yet, but at least the thing. But that shows one thing. That shows the scientists has already linked it. Diabetes, the symptoms of diabetes, the symptoms that's associated with insulin resistance, with metabolic syndrome, is the same thing that is causing the damage, the fog that builds up in your brain, right? You're gonna forget why you actually walk from your living room into a kitchen. By the time you reach your kitchen, you forgot what you wanted to go into the kitchen for. Then the moment you say, I'm going to step back into a living room, maybe that will help me retrace my train of thoughts, right? At the living room again, you say, oh yeah, I wanted to just simply go and get a spoon. You walk, by the time you reach the kitchen again, you forgot what you were there for again. Okay, your mind is simply just fogging up until someone comes along, points you in the right way, okay, teaching you how to start limiting the number of insulin doses, stopping, fasting, and so on and so forth. And this is what we're going to do today. After today, next week, all of us are going to start doing that. Genetic, diet, obesity, same thing. Okay, sometimes, okay, what we're talking about is general, but of course, every single person, that's why it's very important. After hearing this, you may know, no wonder is this. So from tomorrow onwards, I'm going to stop taking this. I'm going to stop taking that. I'm going to stop my insulin injection. All right? I'm going to stop eating just like this. No, you can't do that. Because every individual is different. Okay? While we say that generically, let's say even if it's 80% of people share the same system, they are that 20. And among that 20, there will be some that is probably inherent. Could be in your family genetic history. So you really do have to have a professional medical practitioner to look you once over to tell you exactly what your situation is. Okay, but generically, as long as you understand, as long today we can help you understand where you are coming from and where we hope we can actually point you to, you'll be able to actually live healthier. Okay, all this same. Look at all these problems. Okay, the top how many 10th causes of death. Most of them, if not all of them, are totally related to our intake, our food intake, and the number one killer is sugar. Sugar. Okay, I may even venture as far as to say this. Always we've been taught, even from our senior, our elders in the families, always, whenever we go out, we're used to it now. 少盐, 少油, 少糖 lah, the latest one, right? Actually, of the three, the most critical, there's only one that you can really strictly do without, and that's sugar. Right? You have to consume all the oils, okay? Saturated or unsaturated fat, mono or polysaturated, it's fine. Okay? Salt, okay? Sodium, overdose, perhaps, okay? Your body doesn't feel well, but you need that too. The only thing that we do not need, the only thing that those early days, early human beings that I've showed you just now, examples, right? The tribes, the nations, all that they never relied on is sugar. They never had any intake of sugar, at least refined sugar, processed sugar, today cane sugar, corn syrup, right? All this stuff they never had, and they were healthy, okay, from very young till very old. But us modern people, we pop into any shop, we pop into a cafe, we pop into a fast food chain, and every single item has got refined sugar, has got processed carbs, all there, okay, ready to feed us with it. And guess what? And the more we eat, and yet we feel that we are still not full, we can still take some more, okay? A lot of people, again, advise always, again, this is our elderly, right? The moment you feel that your teeth are about 70% full, that's it. Because the signal from your stomach to your brain takes a while. By the time your brain tells you you're 70% full, you are absolutely full, okay? Stop there. And of course, with some of our superfoods, right, like our New Balance, all that, with omega-7, we will actually start that signal. We actually induce that signal for you so that, no, hey guy, full, stop. Don't have to go overboard with it, okay? Now, let's look at the same thing. Guys, men and women, okay? Sometimes I've got different sets of problems. So once you're overweight, you've got the ovary syndrome, you have this and that, okay? Different kind of problems. As shown in my earlier picture, those people, those days, they've never hear of things like no incidents, not even single one of breast cancer, of ovarian cysts, right? Ovarian cancer, colorectal cancer, large intestine having problem. Some of us reach a certain age, you probably have to advise, if you're buying heavily insured, insurance company pay for you, go for a scan, okay? A camera goes right in at the back, right through your entire large intestine, see that there are all the polyps, there are all the growth that you need to snip away, you need to laser away, right? Those days, not a single incident, not a single case, because of the food. Same thing, right? Metabolic syndrome just comes with a whole package deal. Like I say, it's a package deal. You go to a fast food chain, the smiling face behind the cash register tell you, sir, do you want to upsize? Okay, unfortunately here we can't even make that option. We can't even pick. The moment we hit that threshold, the moment it goes over that bump, we have developed insulin resistance. Insulin resistance comes with a package deal of metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome comes pre-packaged with that gift basket for you, FOC. And you're going to live with it unless you know what to do with it, okay? You know how to get rid of it. Okay, we're going to start today, right, after this. So this is one way that, for example, okay, we say that here, look at this picture. This sense that if you have got too much insulin, that's bad. Now everybody realizes. Even 10 years ago, okay, even, for example, the American Association of Diabetes, they were still telling in their literature, telling you that's fine, okay, as long as you can control your blood sugar, as long as you're able to exercise, change your lifestyle, you can still continue to have your sugar intake and so on and so forth, right? Just 10 years ago. Now they know if we can get rid of or slow down or stop insulin, that will help you get better. That will help you get better. And of course, you do not want to go on a point whereby your blood sugar is almost zero, you go into a shock, okay, and you collapse and die. No, that's too much. That's why you need a medical doctor, a practitioner, to help you calibrate your own intake. But even now, they would know to go much lighter on insulin, on prescribing insulin. Okay, this picture shows insulin. Too much insulin is bad. The one is called a glucagon. Glucagon is something that usually used, well, it's natural produce. It's also used as a medication to help induce or to help to slow down and to cut insulin. Okay, so you rather have more, heavier, a better ratio, higher ratio of glucagon than insulin. Okay, less insulin. We want to cut insulin. End of the day, guess what? Okay, insulin is toxic. A lot of new thinking and new thoughts about things is that insulin is really a toxic stuff. This is something that's it's a very important key. Without this key, we'll die. We'll starve to death. Okay, but now the thing is that most of us simply becomes obese. We are storing up too much into fixed deposit that never expires. We're never gonna withdraw from those fixed deposits, and every day it's actually earning more interest on your behalf without you knowing it. So you ask for the key. No, you don't need the key. Okay, you want it to come out the other way. You want to use it up. You want to expand it, right? So obviously, you go to the gym, you join a gymnasium, you pay a monthly fee, you pay an annual fee, a super nice club. Of course, the trainers will tell you, just come and exercise, do so many sit-ups, do many chins-up and all that, and you should burn. That's going to be very slow. No matter, as long as you eat, after my gym session, I'm going to have a big T-bone steak, all right? I thought I've already burned up all these calories, so I can now actually replenish. Guess what? You have not burned anything, you're actually adding more back into your system, all right? So same thing. This is exactly the guy that will basically, you look like that. Whether you're a guy or a lady, okay, 水头上气, is this. This is because your body is telling you, no matter how hard you pump, okay, your muscles, you do your bench press and all that, even to the point that, of course, you have a lot of lactic acid, your muscles start to burn and all that, you are not burning away the right stuff. Okay, we do not just want to rely on this. You want to be like that, the guy in a red cape, okay? You want to be healthy, you want your food to be used, so that when your insulin stops, the fuels get pumped up. It gets burned away, you reduce, your belly goes down, your fatty liver, okay, all the oils, the fat little big globs of oil get smaller. Over time, you lose that, okay? You'll never go to the point whereby you're like that type 1 diabetic girl, back in the 50s. You won't reach that stage ever. The problem is now to get yourself slimmed down, okay? So what is light fasting? Light fasting, I think there's many. Fasting is one thing that most people now already know has got benefits. Many practitioners from olden days to now, including, of course, there's a lot of theological practitioners. I'm talking about, as for example, the Buddhist monks or the missionaries or the churches, Christian, all that. Some of them, or the Jewish community, they practice fasting. Of course, our Malay friends, our Malay converts, you can say that there's a whole month that they fast. So actually, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. They must know the benefits of what they're doing, okay? And why do certain practitioners actually fast for a long time, just go on, especially during the so-called 7-month period? 7-month period for different ideology is different. I mean, to the Buddhists, it's a rainy season, it's Vasa. So they can simply just go there, sit inside a cave for 2 weeks, surviving on just water, fasting. But their mind become super clear, all right? No fogging out, okay? As true fasting. And they would have all the reserve fuel in their body to sustain them that couple of weeks, okay? The only thing they need is just water. So I'm going to come back to my, now the idol. Actually, when I put out that first thing, what the scene show is that I've got this little here. I'm going to show you. So back in the 50s, 60s already, there were scientists that have already thought, now within the cell, they've discovered that within the cell there is a compartment. There's a room, okay, the store whereby garbage goes. Okay, they think it's like a dustbin, a rubbish center, a bin center, like here in Singapore. What they did not know is that that is not just a garbage center. That is an entire recycling plant. That is what it is. But it can't be proven until our professor, okay, was doing his postgraduate research and thesis. And what he did was that, I'm going to bring up my, so what he did is that during the 90s, okay, he experimented with yeast, baker's yeast. Why yeast? Yeast is usually chosen because it's a single cell, it's a single cell yeast organism, which is very simple to monitor and which can be used for as an analogous to our human, of course, more complex cell. What you experimented on the yeast can most of the time be duplicated in human. So over time, what he did is that he spent time, he actually mutated that thing. He theorized that, okay, so there's this rubbish center inside my cell. But I'm theorizing it, or many of the scientists before him, before his time, is also theorized that perhaps there's something that's being done inside things. It's not just simply a store, just dump it inside, all right? What he theorized is that, now, what if that thing is not just a rubbish dump, it's able to recycle, okay? It's able to recycle, break down, reuse, break a big part into small components so that you can actually renew itself and so on and so forth. But how can you prove it? So what you do is that, because yeast is one thing, even with a normal microscope, you can't see it. You probably need an electron microscope magnification. But it happens too fast. Just like you definitely cannot see it, be able to see it on live human. For yeast, so what the only way you can do is that he can't see that renewal. He can't see the degradation. He can't see the breaking down. He said, wait, unless I can stop the process so I can actually see it step by step. And that's what he did. All right. He researched and he found some enzymes that would allow him to stop that degradation. So that room, he actually suddenly is able to observe, okay, all the organelles, all the little pockets going inside. That's rubbish. Some of them large proteins, small proteins going inside. And then stop, because the enzyme to degrade, to break down those parts, old parts, has been disabled by him. So that thing is building up. So actually his segment over time slowly is almost like a time-lapse photography. And then, yes, so ultimately, in our paper, he also went through like maybe 1,500 different mutations of the different yeast, baker's yeast, and identified up to about 15 enzymes that's responsible for this recycling, breakdown, renewal, okay? And that was done in the 90s. And finally, our nice professor was recognized now in 2016, he was presented with this Nobel Award, okay? So this Nobel Award for that year for either physiology or medicine was given to him, presented to him for finding and actually confirming the mechanism of autophagy, okay? This process whereby your own brain your own cell is able to renew itself. There's a lot. This is a mythology, right? You see yourself. It's a dragon, okay? The symbol, and in this case, it's also presented by Nobel. It's a dragon in a loop that feeds on its own tail, okay? So your cell is now being able to feed. So the autophagy, this word actually came from Greek, which means literally self-eating. After today, after my sharing with you today, you will now from today take the expression 夹家己 very differently. Okay? 夹家己 is not a bad thing anymore. Okay? Especially you want to lose weight, you want to feel fresher, you want to be healthier. 夹家己 is very important. Okay? So this is autophagy. So role of autophagy is many things, right? So the thing is, as long as the body can actually takes all components now. It's able to slowly break down. We thought that cells, once it reaches a certain age, it will die. Of course, healthy cells can only multiply so many times. But the fact is that the cells itself, it's able to break down, no matter how we feel that it's a bit larger, proteins can still be actually absorbed, taken into that lysosome, so that it's actually broken down. Some parts is just simply dumped away. Once it's dumped, it can become fuel, or certain parts can be so-called cannibalized, like the way, for example, you want to go and scrap a car. Guess what? You send it to the scrapyard. You think the scrapyard just use a big strong hammer just to slap it down, become a flattened metal? No. They can actually remove some parts. They find that, hey, this engine block, this fuel injector, this battery wire connector, this and that part, this brake, this can be reused, can be recycled. That's exactly what autophagy does. Those things that can be reused, you would actually keep them as components. Those things that should be scrapped, or those are bad stuff, damaged stuff, to be destroyed, will be destroyed. So as long as there's autophagy, as long as it can feed on itself, now that's the beauty. Now that we found that, that's how do you actually trigger, how do you actually activate autophagy? And one of the easiest and most effective, simplistic way to activate things is if you fast. In other words, if you starve yourself, if as long as you fast, you starve yourself a bit, your body will start, that engine of autophagy will start to kick in. As long as insulin is not being pumped in, all the time, autophagy will be there. It will be activated. It will renew itself. It will take out all the components. It will destroy whatever that's not required, reuse it again, and it will start to pull. All your fatty acids, your lipids, start to make use of your protein, start to make use of your fatty acids, your lipids, to create the fuel. In fact, especially for fatty acids, lipids, those things that's been storing right now around your waist, inside your liver, that is really the favored source of fuel as far as your body is concerned. It's all good. Your body rather have that become the source of fuel than your carbs and your sugar. Exactly. All right. So this is what we want to do. It kicks. Show you another one. So autophagy, once it starts, the other thing is that although you can actually use it, you start burning your oil using your protein to basically create the fuel you need. Autophagy is also important. Apparently, autophagy is also being able to destroy some of those invading organisms. So you've got bacteria, you've got something trying to invade your cell. Autophagy, as long as you're not feeding all the time, autophagy itself, the process will destroy and kill off those organisms. That's the invaders in you. So imagine right now if you are able to start fasting so that insulin is not produced all the time, especially for those of us who have got insulin resistance. Autophagy will kick in. Once autophagy kicks in, we feel our fuel, our fatty acids will now be used to produce fuel. We actually have much less fats in our liver, much less fats around our waist, and also all the invading organism, all the bad stuff will be killed, will be gotten rid of. So it's a hunky-dory thing. Now, having said that, too much, you want yourself now, too much autophagy happening all the time, it's also bad. There are known cases also sometimes tumors, cancers are being caused by autophagy. So you need a balance. And hence, we have to always instruct, we have always share with you knowledge exactly how to do it right, how to also, while you're going through fasting, especially right now with training wheels, we're giving you a very low gradient to start to learn how to fast. We also need to supply you with the right nutrients to protect you, to nourish you while you fast without triggering more insulin, without activating more insulin. So look at this. So the way autophagy works, the moment you start going outside, finally they are able to identify all this. And thanks to doctor, is this Professor Osumi. So actually the entire process, okay, he have actually all this documented properly. You find that it slowly built a membrane, okay, it's almost like a web. Once it encompasses all the bad stuff, all the old stuff, all the stuff that need to be renewed, okay, you actually send it, all right, into that cell, into that bin center, into that recycle center to be broken down. Enzymes come in, break it down. Those that can be reused, you use. The rest, produce, becomes your fuel. The longer you are able to do it, the more fats is being burned away, the more bad organisms are being destroyed, the more good reusable components are being restored, okay, recycled and cannibalized back. Okay, so this is what we have. So autophagy, remember this, autophagy, it's auto, self, phagy is eat, okay? You self-eat, you self-devour within the organ itself. This is what it looks like. Okay, and fat cells, unfortunately, right, through all the fast food, I think even the picture shows that fast food cases. If you're on a daily, okay, fast food diet, you're just sitting there, not doing much, especially with either MCO in Malaysia, or Singapore. There's still a lot of half of the workforce perhaps is working from home, staying at home itself. Then you need to simply control your diet, okay? And we're going to help you, tell you, teach you how to do it over this next 2 weeks. Same, liver, okay? Obesity, a fatty liver is something. You know the goose liver, the French and all that, they feed, what do? They feed the goose with starch. All right, processed starch, so that actually the liver just simply bloats up with all the fats inside. Then they slaughter it and you actually eat it. We do not want to be like that goose, okay? We want to have healthy liver. The first way to do it, the first way to act it, we need autophagy to kick in, okay? And of course, you and I mean, does autophagy simply not start before we actually start fasting? No. As long as we stop eating, autophagy will start, okay? But to be effective, to get rid of all the extra reserve that is overflowing from your warehouses, we need a sustained period. So why I'm saying in the beginning, if you can, try not to cheat, okay? Over the first 4 days, afterwards I'll run through the calendar again. Over the first 4 days, get used to it, see what you can, what you can't achieve, and then during that main 4 days, that 72 hours, a very crucial 72 hours, we need the full autophagy, the full benefits to kick in for you, right? Because otherwise you're always restarting. It's as good as going back to your 3 meals a day, right? If you can advance it, so after this period, perhaps some of you would be able to go on a more enhanced, more advanced, longer period of fasting. Your benefits will actually come sooner, all right? Now, let's look at this. On your left, many of us probably would be the one on the left. Me included, okay? Whatever my body weight today is, could be this size. Once it looks like that inside, ultimately it goes to the outside, okay? So your belly gets bigger and bigger, and then you get diabetes, you get insulin insensitivity, resistance. People say that how can you're not starving, but diabetic supposed to be starving. You're not starving at all, okay? You simply pump producing more and more cholesterol being pushed out. So we wanted all those big fat lumps of fatty acids, right? That's inside liver to now slowly shrink down and go away. If you can extend, once you become a more advanced practitioner of fasting, then ultimately all this can go. And some of them, now the thing is that your body is very clever. Autophagy is very smart. It knows how to make use of those unnecessary items first. Those things that can go first. Those things that's important to sustain life, to actually have you keep healthy, they'll actually touch less. Unless you really go without food, you're lost in a jungle, okay, without being rescued for 30 days, for a month. Then all your reserve will be used up, okay? If you do it on a proper, controlled, and educated manner, you'll never reach a stage whereby you do damage your body. Every day that you're on that proper, instructed fast, you actually get healthier, you get slimmer, you get sharper, your minds actually clear up, and you actually think faster. Okay, this is what we want to do, and you're going to start exactly just on the 2nd. Next week, we do a trial. Okay, this is what you do. Again, why 18, 6, and 2 light fasting? You want to reduce all the calories, toxins, fat, discomfort, clogging, etc. You already know that. You already realize that. Okay, this is something, once you can grasp, okay, the whole concept of autophagy, you can grasp this. Okay, once you have this, you got nutrition, get better nutrition, metabolism. We always say that when we're young, okay, why my weight always, no matter how much I eat, all right, will never put on weight because youngsters have got very good metabolism. Once you get older, every year counts, unfortunately. Sometimes every year, you know, without knowing it, without you feeling it, your metabolism rate actually goes down, reduces, all right? So it actually repairs, it defends, it vitalizes. Okay, the vitality is very important, especially repair. So jokingly again, I was always stressed that Perry is joking. If you can, that 4 days, do not cheat. Okay? If you're cheating yourself. You're not cheating any one of us. You're not cheating the rest of the 2,000 of us. You're just cheating yourself. If over the first 4 days, you find that you're able to maintain at least, you know, that evening while sleeping, stay it off. That 18 hours is crucial. Right? That 18 hours is very crucial because it will slowly ramp up. I mean, the process, the engine switches on. But the longer you can sustain, can hold it, the engine revs up. Okay? You need to hit maximum, optimum revolution. Then you can burn more of your fatty acids, all the bad stuff, recycle them quicker. Okay? Same thing. So you have got this, how many days it takes to perform 18, 6, and 2. Now we have got those few days. Okay, what time? During the first briefing and all that, I'm sure all this will be handed out to you. Everyone will have a proper timetable. And of course, you will also have our instructors online all the time, sending out messages, all our leaders, forwarding it, reminding you exactly what you should do at what time. Okay? The fact that we do not all have to go to take a hitch, a bus, a coach, or fly to a certain place, be locked away for 72 hours is really godsend. You could be at your office desk. You could be at your home study and still going through our light fasting. And you would still be as successful as the person that dedicates this the entire week to visit a health spa. Look, Inchaway for this program could have sold it, okay, at a very high cost, and there will be a lot of people clamoring to come and join in. All right, when all the travel resumes and we're able to go back to a resort, I'm sure, all right, Inchaway will actually organize again. Let's go to a golf club. Let's stay there for 3 days so that we can monitor each other. No cheating. But now that we're used to doing this online, you have got so many badges before this, right, of doing a proper detoxification. Then we can surely get ourselves to follow strictly the regime just over this 12 days, right? Pre, during, post. We want to make sure that at the end of it, you're going to feel like a totally brand new person and your weighing scale will not lie to you. Stand on top, you see what exactly would be the change, okay? So this are thing. Again, we'll actually run through with you, you know, our instructors, they're going to tell you exactly when you do this. Nutritionists, like I say, the first 4 days is very crucial to actually get used to the routine. Once you are at the end of 4th day, before we kick into the 5th day, which is a proper start, right, whereby you want to strictly adhere to the light fasting, then you're all ready for it. After the 4 days again, we have a regime. Will tell you exactly what you need to consume to really get back to yourself. I tell you what, I'm sure there'll be some of you here that will not get off. If some of you are able to continue that same routine for a longer period, over a week, a fortnight, 2 weeks and all that, the benefits will be much faster, will be more enhanced. You will actually see a greater impact. Okay, you want to lose more weight? We have got people doing that in the past. Some of them goes cold turkey. But this time, like I say, this is why it's not called light fasting for no reason. We want to make it easy for you that almost if we have 100%, right? We have 100% success rate here. You'll maintain it. You'll be able to exactly share this information. You'll be able to convince your family member to join you. Okay. The other day, I thought that was very important. What Perry mentioned was that we want to achieve, this is our objective of Inchaway, we want to achieve an objective whereby we have at least one knowledgeable, okay, person regarding health in every single family there is. And the only way to do this is that if we can share, if we can propagate that information out. Once we plant a seed, once the information, okay, the knowledge takes root in one person in that family, then it can be passed on to the rest. I'm sure some of you only sign up. Maybe again, right? Although only 2,000 people registered, I'm sure again some of you may also have your family members actually join in, okay, to follow you. Maybe again they may cheat or they may follow half the time. I'm sure there are people that will follow you every step of the way, as long as you show, okay, that you have the conviction yourself to do it. And as long as you show, but let's say, okay, they'll see how you do it first. 我们先看看, okay, 你的表现. So after 12 days, once you step up on that weighing scale, once you measure your BMI, once you measure all the other, okay, data, and it shows it to your family members, I'm sure they'll be most enthusiastic to start. Okay, you can be conducting your own after that. So until then, we have more people, we can actually do longer periods and all that. Okay, let's go on so on. So first starting off, this is what we call the reduced food period. This is where we ramp you up, okay? This is where you get your body accustomed to it. This is where we get you accustomed to the timing, okay? Most of the time, we simply just sit there. Our breakfast is that we wake up, after a shower, we brush our teeth, we get our first cup of coffee, right? Some of you will reach for that, the butter spread. We need our breads, we need our donuts, all our cream cakes, cereals, and all that. Now, are those stuff good? Those stuff are your processed carbs, okay? Hopefully, two things happen after tonight, okay? Two things happen. For some of you is that you will now suddenly realize that, hey, maybe I should just from now on stop that. It's not so important after all, okay? Because afterwards, by the time I wake up, it's already 7:30. I shower, I get ready, I go out, I head to the office. Before I answer a few phone calls and answer a few emails, it's already almost lunchtime. So I can skip certain things. I do not need that cereal. Okay, what you want to do is that right now, you start looking, like I've always told, right? All our family members are during our OPP and all that. You always try to look at whatever you purchase off the supermarket shelf. You always try to learn to read the stuff behind on the labels. Okay, what does it contain? Now, most of you, if not all of you, already know that we want to make sure that there are no trans fat. Okay, trans fat must be zero. In Singapore, I'm sure in Malaysia and all that, even the government, okay, is making it a standard that those stuff with any trans fat cannot be imported. So the bad stuff. That goes same for other food stuff. Okay, learn to read behind it. Certain waters, certain fruit juices, how much calories is it, how much carbo is it, how much sugar is it. Okay, for those so-called replaced sugar, artificial sugar, what kind of replacement are you using for that sugar? At one time, it was called saccharin. Okay, saccharin is for people with diabetes. It's an artificial sugar. And then saccharin got banned because saccharin is thought to be actually even worse than the original cane sugar. All right? So learn to those things. Once you are able to, after today, start thinking, everyone, we want to get you over this first 4 days, right? Reduce food portion. You only take this. You get used to it. Very soon it becomes a habit. Once it becomes a habit, it becomes second nature. Muscle memory is there. It's ingrained inside your brain. You wakes up, your body exactly after the third day, the fourth day knows exactly what to do. It's no longer expecting your regular cup of
you know, a coffee, concentrated coffee with sugar, with cream, with carnation milk. You know, no more kopi C, right? And you were able still to function. And your mind, you find that it's still clearer than before, than if you had not, say, before you start kicking off with a cup of coffee, I can't work, all right? Suddenly you find that, hey, I'm able to work. It's clear I can actually work better, work more efficiently. I can do more things within that first 2 hours before lunch. By the time you hit lunch, you decide what you're going to take. Okay, the first few days, slowly breathe up, reduce the food amount so that your satiety go down, okay? Your mind is conditioned to it, even your insulin, right? Your blood sugar, try to maintain, slowly bring it down over time. It cannot be a rush because then you will start to feel giddy, you may faint, you may feel faint, and so on and so forth. We want to do it, that's why we need 4 days. 4 days to condition you. By the time the main period, the actual period starts, you're more than ready to do it. Let's see the next one. Okay, so again, next one, this is the timing. We have already, right, if you're registered, you would have been supplied, you have bought all the right stuff. So we will tell you exactly what to take, okay? By now, I would assume that every one of you already know that, you know, do I have to take this? Can I take this together with that? Or can I not take that together? All Inchaway stuff are excellent and really good food. They are not medication, right? You can simply just take it as you would any other food. If you're going to buy something to eat, right, for your lunch or breakfast, you wouldn't consider I will still take this. I will wait 30 minutes before I take the next piece, and I'll wait another 15 minutes before I drink my coffee. Nothing happens. Same goes for the food stuff, for all the nutrients that Inchaway is providing you with, right? So we'll tell you exactly when. We even get, for example, regardless of whether you are male or female, we have got you starting off the day with a male version of Inchaway, right? By the time you reach lunchtime, then, you know, we also have you kick in with a female version of Inchaway. And you wrap up your day again with Cell Pro, with Incha Oil, and with Incha Gut. Okay? So you find here, once you understand the way that autophagy works, those that we are providing you with, okay, those food they're providing you is not the raw processed carbs. We're providing you with the right kind of fatty acids that your body would love to burn for fuel. We're providing you with the right kind of proteins that your body would also love to burn for fuel or to store for use, to build up your muscles. Okay, they're all in there throughout the day. Okay, let's see what you do. And this is exactly that same calendar schedule that we actually looked at earlier. So we're going to start on 2nd. Don't cheat, don't cheat, don't cheat. Okay, try to follow. The first 4 days, it's really getting used to. It's really it may probably be the toughest time because it's a switch from your otherwise standard practice. Okay, your habits, your human people is a animal of habits. So the first 4 days is to break that habits, break whatever habits we have, so that we actually can just get ourselves be more inclined to start. Okay, first 4 days. Once we are into the 5th day, the actual light fasting proper, stick with it. Stick with it. Okay, you need to just stay online, see how the rest. I'm sure that channel will bao peng. I think we've got so much thing. We'll probably have to see the updates. The update's gonna be more tweets than Trump, okay, did, right, before it was banned. So we're gonna have everybody, whatever you're feeling, whether you're feeling giddy or you're feeling totally okay, or after first day, hey, you're feeling fine, or after 2 days, you've already lost certain weight, okay? This is not over-stressing it. This is not overselling it. Even before we have a program like light fasting, because any of our family members started fasting on their own, for that matter, they were already sharing with us, you know what, Melvin, all I did was just simply skip my breakfast. Instead, I have got Cell Pro and Incha Oil, and over 4 days, I've lost weight. Okay, they were already doing it. Okay, so the first 4 days, get inclined, get used, move yourself into that state of mind, okay, to go online. Once you're into your 5th day, if you've been doing the proper prep work, you ramp up yourself, you'll be fine. I guarantee you'll be fine, okay? Perry also mentioned this. I'm sure that after the 12 days, right? After the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and then the feeding starts again, right? The proper refeeding starts again. End of that, I hope to see a lot of little logs, write-ups, feedback. You write your own little story, compile that, and share with everyone. 如果有良心的话, okay, I'm sure that most of you, bulk of you, would definitely have all things positive to say and positive to share with the rest. And of course, it's also important that we will also monitor, and we must also take note as a company, take note of whatever feedback that whereby will help us improve. The next time that we're going to do a light fast again, or probably an enhanced fasting, right? There'll be more, okay? There'll be better ways to actually advocate or administer the way we're doing this, right? And it will be sometime before you and I would be able to meet face to face. So let's treasure this time online. Let's treasure those moments that we are online on the chat group, sharing the information and encouraging each other to continue, okay? To slog on, do not stop. Because we definitely would want to see what happens at the end of those 12 days. And whether some of you would actually continue or would have continued without actually ramping down. Okay? Is it possible to ramp up and not ramp down? I think some of you can actually scale down a bit, and some of you would be able to. I'm sure there are some seasoned fasters, we call it, people who have actually fast all the time. Because of whatever your belief or theology, those people will continue. Okay, you're regular. Congratulations. These are things that we need to learn from you. Okay, we need to learn, have you share your experience with us to be the more experienced. Okay, for one or name, I call them fasters. So the rest of us fasties should actually learn from you. So after that, the 12, give us proper feedback. We're going to record it, okay? The company will take that. That, again, will come back into our own, it's almost like our own record, our own trials, our own records, so that we'll know exactly what what to add, what to remove, what to enhance, what to increase and decrease for the next one, okay? But I guarantee you, okay, because knowing this, knowing what autophagy does, knowing what fasting can do, knowing what the control or your body can do, knowing what depriving your body of the need to always pump up insulin, okay, for or without all the time, knowing all those, right? Those things scientists have known for decades, except that mindset has not changed. But again, like say, over the last 5 to 10 years, mindset has also changed. So in the treatment, from, for example, something as being incurable, irreversible, right now is known, is said, some of you here are diabetics, okay? That's a glimmer. It's not a glimmer of hope. It is right there at the end of that tunnel, at the end of that light fasting tunnel is your recovery. You'll be like any other person, because otherwise, if you continue as is today, you continue on the doctrine that was preached to you 30 years ago, okay, having been a diabetic for the last 25 years, jabbing yourself with an insulin pen every day, you will never see the end. Your end game may turn out very bad. But now that you've started this, now that you're started on this new journey, on this healthier and slimmer journey, all right, use the right kind of fuel, use the right kind of source of fuel, your whole body, your whole physiology will change. And we want to hear from you. Now, at the end of, I'm really looking forward to that end of that 12-day period, okay, when we start to talk again. Next time, I guess we'll have one session, Perry and everyone, our nutritionists and all that, just right there. It's like a town hall meeting, okay? Let's have a town hall meeting and everybody just share, okay? You're given 2 minutes, 3 minutes to share what you experienced over the last few days. Let's do that, maybe after the end of this period. Okay, I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of very wonderful news. All right, let's go and see. And refeeding period, I say, right? Pre, during, post. refeeding, you're basically not starved to the point whereby you need to be refed actually. But we just said, okay, now you can resume. Just like detoxification, we don't expect you to do a gallstone detox every day. You'll be really terrible routine, okay? So after this refeeding period, theoretically, and of course, practically, many of you will just go back to eating your junk food and all that. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Because now that you understand why you are doing this, you will be a bit more conscious of what you want to put into your body. Okay? Because you will have already felt the difference after that, from that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days. Share with us what is happening. So again, we have proper guide for you. This one, again, I'm sure that during the entire course, there will be a reminder, okay? There will be more timely than a synchronized stopwatch and alarm to just encourage everyone to go along. Imagine, like say, when first trying to lose weight by yourself is the toughest thing in the world, okay? It's the toughest thing in the world. Right now, knowing that out there are 2,000 other people doing exactly the same thing. You want to achieve also about the same, if not the best results among all these 2,000 people. All right? That is your objective. During a ramp up, try to get used to it. During the proper, try not to cheat. During a refeeding, go back. Okay, I really miss my laksa. I really miss my char kway teow. Can. As long as you are healthy, okay? As long as you are healthy, then you have got what it takes to eat sometimes unhealthily. But if you're unhealthy today, you better get up, you better do something to get yourself, okay, eat yourself back into health first before you again go out to eat all the unhealthy, very good eating, very good, very delicious stuff, but unhealthy stuff. Okay? So after the refeeding period, back to normal. So simple, right? 4 days, get used to it. Stick to the regime for that 4 days. Okay? During refeeding, cheating or no cheating or less cheating or half cheating, it's fine. Then back to your normal routine. And we want to hear from you after that. Okay? I'm sure everyone top down from Inch Away within to the rest of our family members, they want to share, they want to hear. All right? So this is important. Okay, take a look at this. You, of course, will be given this during that time, before, during, after. Okay, everything. Definitely, there'll be discomforts and there'll be comforts. Okay, look forward. Okay, look more to the comforts. Those stuff that actually comforts you. Of course, also do not be alarmed because we have already stated in front. This would be probably all the discomforts that you might experience. Okay, just go through it. Right, just like 好转反应, we say that when you start taking your first time 3 years ago, when you consume your first 2 packets of Incha oil over the first week, there were some discomforts, but we prepared you for it because we let you know. You actually sometimes get worse before you get better. Same thing here. You are doing fasting. You are energizing. You're actually triggering autophagy. Autophagy will have a totally renewed you, but it comes with discomforts. If it doesn't come with discomfort, congratulations, you have been so healthy all along. Don't let it deteriorate, right? Let's say the things that ultimately one fine day, not too far in the future, okay? Our entire Inchaway family, they are all super dupers, or we say yao guai, because people who doesn't age. Okay? You must be slimmer. You must look younger than your age, your actual age, physical age, right? You must be healthier, and you must have all the energy in the world to keep up with the rest of us, to keep up with your children, your grandchildren, okay, for that matter. All right? So with that, I shall come to the end of it, and I would still want to bring out 2 pictures I'd like very much because the early days, these 2 guys actually showed us what it is like to, of course, okay, one more slide is that Dr. Usumi also said that life is an equilibrium state between synthesis and degradation of proteins. That's autophagy. All right? Not too much, not too little. It must be working all the time. You don't flood it. You don't flood your body with insulin, especially if you're insulin resistant, right? Let your body synthesize, break down, renew, restart. All right. And now, guys, congrats. This is an early day before fasting. I think what they've been doing, they just simply substitute out their food. Okay. Oh, this one. What he aimed for, at the time is 99.8. I'm sure his target is probably 85 or 86. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. We shall start, okay, all 2,000. Now you may please turn on your video, turn on your microphone, or at least not everyone at the same time. You want to raise a hand? Okay, just click raise a hand. Let Vivian turn on the microphone so that we can have a little discussion, yeah? It's, 9:42 almost. We should know that. We still have only about 18 minutes. I try to stretch it. Okay, Perry, you actually spoke without any slide. I use up all the slide. Hopefully that the information provided, okay, has been good for everyone. Let's bring myself back full screen. All right. Okay, thank you. Let's hear from you.
Okay.
Show your face. Come on, show your face. How many do we have actually? Okay, 70. Almost just under 70, yeah? Okay, how is it? Okay, Carol, I've been seeing you most of the time on the top of my screen. All right, any feedback? Turn on your mic.
As I said earlier, your slide to me is still blur, but somebody earlier mentioned clear. So I don't know any feedback from others or not.
Okay.
I snapped some picture, I sent over to you.
Okay.
Anthony, anything to say, Anthony? Are you there, Anthony? Should ask him. I think he is.
Because we just stream off Facebook, so and it was sharp.
I'm still here. I'm here.
You see
Yay!
what you see from the screen?
A bit blur lah, but okay lah. But listening, most of the time I spend listening to him rather than looking at the screen.
True.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually from the laptop. I don't know you are using laptop or mobile phone. Mobile phone.
I using mobile. Mobile is still a bit blur lah, but then importantly is the voice is clear lah. So I'm still able to receive the message loud and clear lah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. I'll see. I'll probably spend some time probably with one of you all to, just on a one-to-one and see what's the thing. Because this is one single setting. Because, okay, obviously I'm not using a handphone to do this streaming. We have got a whole series of computers that we use to stream. And it's the same streaming setting for Facebook, for YouTube, or for Zoom. The front end is the same. So it should be high res. Just what's going out from my system should be FHD lah. That means 1920 by 1080. Yeah. Never mind. We'll try that. Rest of you, any questions quick? Actually, don't have to be quick lah, okay? Slowly, turn on, raise hand, because this is crucial, like say, right? Next week is the start. We want everyone to start, on the right foot. We want everyone to be able to sustain and see yourself through the entire period, okay? Like say, if you need to, resynchronize and all that, the first 4 days, tune it and all that, it's fine. But when it comes to that actual period proper, try not to, go off. Just stick strictly with the regime because it's almost the minimal, right? It's known as light fasting for not without reason. This is probably the shortest, okay, the shortest amount of time that we require you to do it to get the most out, to really make sure you can kick off, okay, that autophagy, or else the process will not kick off. We've been accumulating so much dirt, so much, bad stuff in our cells, fats and all that, fatty cells, not having the thing to destroy them, to rebuild. Now you suddenly go and start engine. It's almost like even you have not been running your car, okay? You go out, you're so enthusiastic, you put your key in, you turn. It doesn't start, the battery is dead. You need to give some time. You need to find a friend to help you crank up. Your body will need to crank up a bit. So that 72 hours is really quite crucial. Okay, this is why I hope that everyone can, for that central period, try to stick it out. Okay, now, having said that again, like say, if you've been advised by whether your doctor or personal physician and all that, the moment you feel certain thing, you must stop, you must take certain medicine, by all means, go ahead, right? That is that you know your own body best. Okay, that's the only thing. The rest of us who believe that you're healthy, who has got an objective, who has got a target to lose weight, do it. Stick by it. 72 hours is probably one of the shortest time, okay, that you have to maintain. Because once you can go through this regime, like army boys, right? Go through the first 3 months as a recruit, you'll be able to go through anything. Okay, your 2.4 run and whatever will not be a problem. So 72 hours is really very short, but it's also the minimum required. Okay, try to stick with that. Any questions? The rest very quiet. Who can turn on your screen? Let's see. Let's have a look. All shy, is it? Or all are just simply relaxing at home because this is the final day, last day of Chinese New Year. Any questions? Vivian, 有没有人举手？
有，你的 chat 那边有问题。
谁？
Your chat box.
Oh, I don't see chat. Hey, can you read out for me? Sorry. Because my screen, I've got too many things happening on my screen. I didn't open the chat box window. Okay, can you read out for me, please? Thank you.
Wait.
But anyway, you save, right? You save the chat, okay? You just save the chat, please. So that we...
save the chat for you.
Yes.
Okay. The first one is if underweight, below 47 kg, can we still do autophagy?
What's your BMI?
Below 47.
No, I mean 47 is one thing. What's your height?
kg.
Because it's relative. Okay, whatever your weight is always relative to your body, right? So what's the weight? Do you know how to calculate what your BMI? So you know. Okay, it doesn't mean that you're 47 kilo you can't actually fast. This is light fasting. It's actually healthier. Okay, as long as it's not anorexic, whereby you look in the mirror. I mean, we look at you, you're ordinary. You look in the mirror, you're too slim. There's something wrong. Okay, those people cannot fast. In fact, they must feed, but also at a proper time interval. Okay, no matter how, you cannot force feed an anorexic person, right? Otherwise, you can come back. So 47. Okay, 47 is there's no exact cutoff weight range. You below this you cannot. Or but of course, like certain organizations like the blood bank, if you are below a certain weight, they won't allow you to donate blood. Yes. Okay, they worry because your iron is not high enough, your blood capacity and so on and so forth. So they do control. As far as we're concerned, this is really like an entry level. Okay, this is your first phase, learning how to fast. Okay, we hope that you can actually start to trigger but you yourself must monitor. Okay, you yourself, every one of you, everyone of you knows your body, your own body best. If you let's say after half a day, just skipping one or just going on our recommended food intake, right, for the pre-period, and you find that you're feeling faint, then you probably have to go back on some food. Okay, there's no inclination, okay, that you must do if you are not feeling well. You must do what's good for your body. Okay, no reason to follow through a regime if it does more harm than good to your body. Okay, we definitely do not intend to hurt anyone here, and based on the regime, based on what is will be the program, right, for this whole light fasting program, it should not and it will not hurt anyone. In fact, everyone should be able to actually see to fruition some beneficial gain. Okay, who else?
For diabetic type 2, I'm losing weight gradually and need to put on weight. Would fasting be suitable?
What's your weight before? Type 2 diabetic?
Yeah.
Okay, no, what's your weight? Can we share with us? Exactly what's your current, what was the weight before? What's your weight now? Why do you think you are losing weight? Okay. How many insulin shots are you on right now? If you're already a full-fledged diabetic, right? How many insulin shots are? How many meals are you consuming a day? How many times are you eating a day? Okay.
Thank you very much. You see, 53 kg and now it's 47 kg. Diabetic 2, no insulin.
When was that? How long did this process from 53 to 40s take? There could be other underlying problems, huh? So this one again, when was the last time that you consulted a physician?
About 3 years.
You go and see it. Go and have a checkup. You see, because we shouldn't be losing weight like that. Okay, there's a health. Okay, if we are generally healthy, okay, whether we are pre-diabetic or fully diabetic, full-blown diabetic, we wouldn't be losing a lot of weight. Okay, whenever there's a sharp or there's a drastic weight loss, there usually is an underlying medical problem. If 3 years was the time that we last actually last seen your personal physician, I would advise you go and see that physician first, okay, before you start. Okay, for you, this person definitely, you have basically dropped, and some of your diabetes, you basically dropped from 50 over to sub 40. See a physician. Especially for a diabetic, I'm surprised that you actually sort of set it out for 3 years without seeing a physician.
She said that the gradually loss is over 3 years and her checkup is 3 times a year.
Oh, she actually checked 3 times. Actually, it's all right. No, but how are you eating? Are you okay? I mean, all right. Okay, the thing is this. No insulin and all that. As long as actually you are able to make sure that the time periods between feeding, all right, and not eating, having nothing to take, is long enough, is equal enough, autophagy will kick in. Okay, so you can continue to be healthy that way. Of course, the thing is that whatever it is, we probably will not recommend that you lose any more weight from where you are today. Okay, is it possible to gain more weight? Yes, you can put on more weight. The thing is that you can also gain weight, not through, okay, in your case, because you're full-blown diabetic, right? Try to gain weight also, of course, through consumption of, you can be lipids, okay, fatty acids, proteins, our Cell Pro, our Incha oil. These are your fuel sources, right? These are the stuff that can also help you gain weight, but gain weight very healthily, okay? So you should not, knowing that you're diabetic, you should not and you will not want to gain weight by taking in more carbs. That is the fastest, quickest way, unless you're a marathon runner, right? They do carb loading, they load carbs for the 3 days, 4 days before they go for that marathon run, that 42 kilometer, okay? Because they will burn that carb off in that 42 click. But the rest of us, right, especially those of us has got underlying medical problem, we would want to be able to gain weight healthily. And now that you have learned, you know that there are 3 sources, okay, to fuel us. Carb is only one of them. In fact, and carb is the least healthy way to do it. There's protein and there's lipids, fatty acids. You can gain weight through additional consumption. So you bias your intake towards fatty acids, whether it's saturated, unsaturated fat, of course, it's best, plus proteins. Cell Pro, oils, and all that. That actually comes in. That's why we also planted all those and planned all those for your light fasting. Okay, those are your foods. Those are your nourishments. Okay, I would encourage you can put on weight a lot, but put on weight healthily. The only thing is to make sure that there is definitely the interval. Now knowing that, right, all diabetic, actually the longer, or if you're not, you don't want your body to be pumping insulin regularly, okay? The longer in between, the better. But if you're losing weight, okay, but like what you're saying is that over 3 years is fine. Over 3 years is fine, gradual. So you want to put on more weight, put on some weight, then go for the healthy stuff. Avoid, okay, it can be carb, right? It can still be carb, but avoid any processed food, okay? All those that's refined sugar, cut. Processed food, cut, okay? I've shown you examples. Those people who are 95% are Okinawans friends, our Japanese friends. That is 85% on carbs, and they are healthy. They live longest, okay, among people in the world because they take proper, natural, unprocessed carbs, which is also okay. Okay, I think everyone here after this whole series of program, right, will benefit. You will not, at least you will know, you have the knowledge to how to lose weight healthily. To work, you've got problems, you've got diabetes, type 1, T1D, T2D, or what is to be known as 3TD, you've got Parkinson's, got Alzheimer's, all that. Maybe, at least it's controllable, okay? Or if it's type 2 diabetes, hopefully for he or she, her case, right, it'll be reversible. Okay, it's no longer, okay, the old school thought was that's it, your beta cells in the pancreas has been damaged beyond repair. The last 5 years, okay, scientists, doctors agree that ultimately, if you do not flood your body, okay, with insulin, especially if you already developed a metabolic syndrome, you have got insulin resistance, you can actually reverse that process. You become healthy again. So that is really good news for everyone here, okay?
Okay, there's another question. It's from Sheila. 34 kg, 73 years old can follow this program?
No need lah. 34 kg, 73 years old, don't really have follow lah. I mean, just eat plainly. 清淡一点 is the right, okay? No need to follow this light fasting, I think. 37 is actually a bit lightweight already, okay?
Okay, next question. During the 4 days of light fasting, can we increase the intake of more Celpro?
Certain periods, yes. You look at it, yes, actually you can. I think there's a range. We just want to control, okay? The thing is that we don't want to overload your body, because knowing, you must know that your body, what you want to do is that to make use of existing. Chances are, if you can just follow exactly, because what is actually suggested right now is already fine-tuned. It's tuned to know that, this is probably what a healthy body needs, okay? Because ultimately what we want, the side effect of this thing, right, to make sure that you are not starved, okay, to the point whereby it hurt your body, we are providing enough via Celpro and all that, the right nourishment, the right proteins, the right lipids for your body. So if you can just simply have those, which is basically a safety net, a backup, right? We want your autophagy to actually burn some of your existing storage. If you keep feeding it enough, your body will not burn what is there. Okay, we want you to make some withdrawals. Don't keep depositing. Okay, don't want to have fixed deposit. Right? You have already been earning interest on deposits for too long. We want you to draw off those deposits from the past. But at the same time, not having to damage or to actually hurt your body by providing you other nourishment and sufficient nourishment, all the good stuff. Okay, now makes sense. I mean, but that AMA or whatever, the 37, probably you don't need to. Just continue. You need probably to take, make sure that whatever we prescribe, those Celpro, the lipids and all that, that will definitely help you. Okay, must.
Okay.
Those brains, eyes, remember, omega-3. Okay, the thing is that whether we're doing a detox camp, whether we're talking OPP, we're talking about lipids, fatty acids, whether we're talking about Incha well, or we are covering, Incha oil, they all adds up. You don't simply jump into light fasting methodology and drop what we've been telling, because this is the diet that everyone actually should go towards. Okay, it's a balanced diet.
Okay, this question is from Gina. Explain 18, 6, and 72.
18 hours, okay? 18 hours of basically of fasting, right? We feed you within that 6 hours, right? Slowly over time. And we're going to do it entirety in the 72 hours period. Okay? How long is 72 hours? Right? So it's 24 per day, right? 48. Okay? And then it goes. That's it. 3 days. We want you to be able to cover that full 3-day, 72-hour cycle for this thing. So you feed, you fast. You feed a bit, you fast. Okay, we provide additional fuel for your body to burn. But at the same time, that fasting, because the fasting is right now definitely much longer than if you live your slow and you go to your old habits. We enforce the fasting so that we actually you are forcing your body to not intake food for a longer period of time, and that's the 18. All right, but you only have to maintain this regime for just 72 hours to at least see the benefit there. Okay, so that's the 18. You feed within that 6, and then the whole process takes 72 hours. Okay, that's 18, 6, 72. You would also probably come across articles or heard people share with you and whatever. Some people, they have got regimes like what's known as intermediate fasting or whatever. So it could be different. Of course, people want to fast. What's the best fasting time? 23-1 now. Every day eat one meal. Fast 23 hours. If you can, all right? Kick in the full engine. But we're starting light. We add 2 trainer wheels for you so you don't have to learn to balance on that bicycle. Okay? There are 2 wheels. Just go and cycle. Once you're ready for it, go on enhanced and advanced fasting. Okay, so there are people who take 16-8, right? There are people that actually fast for 3 days in a week or whatever. We want to get the engine going, okay? Autophagy is healthy if done properly. But if it's left alone for years and years that you have not activated this engine, it takes a while to kick in. So we figure, all right, with our professional here, that 72 hours what it takes at least to kickstart it. You can continue once, just like our detox camp, right? After you have tried, you experience the first one, you can choose to do it yourself again, anytime over the next, right after this concludes. Okay.
Okay, the next one, they would wish to know exactly the pre and during and post diet plan during the program.
No, they will issue. Just now, actually, I did show some of the slides. Yeah, you can. Okay, I can show you again. Let me see. Let me bring it out. You want to see? See if this. Is it still very blurred there?
Yeah, the slide is blurred. Maybe I share from my side. Let me see.
That's very odd. Yeah, because it's sharp. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, from my side, yes, it's sharp here. Why is it going across as blur?
It's okay. I'll show this one.
This is very sharp here. This is your e-poster, okay.
Yep. So this will be the breakfast.
Blur. When you zoom it out,
yeah, once I zoom it's blur.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all this we can share it out. You guys will be able to got it as well.
Yeah, all of you, obviously, before it starts, probably over the next 2 days. Okay, yeah, this one. This is the first 4 days before the start, which is on the 2nd. All right. So 4 days before the 18-6-22 light fasting, you are encouraged to do the following. 1, reduce your food portion, reduce pan fried. So all those oily stuff, pan fried. Don't take barbecue, fried chicken, KFC or whatever. Okay, smoked fish, grilled duck or etc. Cut all those. Okay, spicy food, same thing. Chili, belacan, sambal, cut. Okay, less bad oil. Obviously, right, by now you know what's oil is no good, what oil is good, right? Less sugar, okay? Less salt. 1, 2. Like say, amount 3, the one that you can really cut without harming yourself is totally no sugar. It is also a goal, okay? And avoid eating after 10 p.m. That's a start. 4 days, right? If you can start earlier, better. If you can actually not have anything after 8 p.m., the earlier the better, then until the next morning. So you see, the thing is that, imagine, if your last meal is, let's say, 7 p.m., right? And you stop, you do not take anything after 8. You sleep. Next morning, wake up at 6, at 7. You shower, you go to the office. By the time you grow, it's already more than 12 hours. At least that's a start. Okay, you're getting your body used to it. It's already 12 hours. But those of you, I'm sure there are some of us here, right, that are used to taking supper every night are tough. Those are tougher for you, right? But again, you want to do that. You want to try to. Okay, then, like the recommendation here is that after 10 p.m., don't take anything. All right, because otherwise you'll be fine. Any question? Next question.
There's someone raised her hand.
Okay.
Wait. I'll unmute you, Eric. Yeah, you can switch on your mic. You can turn on your mic.
Yeah, turn your mic. You don't have to. You want to turn on your video? You don't have to. Just turn on your mic if you want to. Eric, is it?
Yeah.
Hi, Eric.
No.
I don't hear you, Eric.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question.
Eric Lee,
if you really cannot do without coffee during the 4 days, can we drink coffee without sugar?
Yes, of course, can. Yeah, that's still what I've got. The only thing that would be different then, okay, you can take kopi kosong, right? The only thing that may just impact it slightly could be caffeine, but I think that's better. That's better than, not at all, right? So if like your breakfast, if you can even just say coffee is good enough, taken as my breakfast already, fine. Okay, no sugar, good.
Equal is also not acceptable.
Which one?
Equal, I mean the sugar replacement.
It is actually, well, you should not take that too, lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
See, okay, equal, whatever, all this, right? See, the thing is that all this, unfortunately, like it or not, okay, touted as a replacement for diabetic, for sugar and all that, it's processed, it's refined, it's processed food, it's chemical, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do is try to, during this period, so we could have also called it could be like fasting come detox camp. It is really. You are detoxing yourself. Through autophagy, you are detoxing your body. In fact, more efficient than anything else. While we're doing detox camp, it's only gallbladders, right? Gallstones and cholesterol stones and all that. When autophagy kicks in, you are really cleansing your cells. Wonderful. So Eric, I mean, yeah, coffee. At least caffeine still give you a bit of boost, but cut the sugars. Sugars or replacement sugars, cut.
Okay, there's a question. Members say that I'm afraid of losing more weight and also losing more muscle mass.
That's why you probably will not lose muscle mass. Okay, autophagy doesn't. It's very smart. Actually, it's very careful and it's very protective of your body. Autophagy goes after those stuff that can be gotten rid of, that is not required, and that wouldn't be first and foremost your proteins and all that actually sustain your muscles. Okay, the fats will always be the first to go. Okay, the fats, all the fatty stuff, all the oil, the cholesterol, right? Stuff that's inside the liver and outside the rest of your body. Okay, those are the first thing that goes. But if you're very lightweight already, that means if you're underweight, then obviously no. Then you try to control. Then rather your fasting is not your objective of fasting is not to lose weight, but simply to rid your body of toxins. So you still need to just slowly, as long as the bottom line is this. As long as you must give it enough time for the engine to work long enough, then feed yourself again, right? So, let's say right now it's 18.6, right? You find that, otherwise you're too hungry, you can do, because you want to give yourself one time, 18, then even you're not participating in what we're doing, this program strictly, right? You can just skip a day and then do another 18 again, right? Because at least if you have that 18 when there's no food intake, when insulin is not being pumped out from the pancreas, right? Autophagy will function, will kick in. You just have to give it enough periods of time for autophagy to take effect. That's the bottom line. I mean, it's actually quite elegant in doing that, right? For the rest of us, for other people here, the objective at the end or the result at the end is that you find that, hey, I've lost so many kilos, okay, just over this 72 hours. And you're losing it healthily, okay? That's the important thing, right? You won't lose muscle mass. Autophagy will not go after your muscles.
Okay, another question. Is there any protein content in intra-well man and intra-well lady?
What's the question again? Sorry?
Is there...
I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear anything.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Have, right? Hello? Yeah, is there any protein content in intra-well?
Saying anything?
Can you hear me? Melvin, can you hear me? Melvin, can you hear me?
Any questions? Any questions?
Melvin, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now.
Yeah, the question is there any protein content in intra-well and intra-well lady?
Yeah, some of the components in intra are proteins actually. But the thing is that main source there, among that few things that we're actually providing, right, on a daily basis, right, that recommend over that 4 days, Cell Pro is a key. Okay, Cell Pro has 18 amino acids there, so you have got more than enough protein replenishment there. In fact, a lot more than your body would normally have access to if you take any other thing.
Is Parkinson patient recommend to practice light fasting?
Yes. In fact, all these neurological, these are whereby basically you have insulin problem, your brain cells, all that is clogging up. So Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, all this will do this. Can we do this? Doing this light fasting together with our oil, with lipids. That will be the most effective. In fact, that is right now one of the recommended therapy, to actually try to work and improve Alzheimer's. Okay, nobody is claiming that whatever they try to do, they can actually cure Alzheimer's. Okay, but as long as you provide your body with the right lipids, you can cleanse away some of those old stuff that's there. Okay, cut down, especially if you've got your insulin resistance and all that. It will clear up. At least the brain and all that will actually start to clear up. Okay, together with lipids, like say our intra oil is very critical there. So your whether it's an intra oil, your balance, your rich, okay, all these oils, all these fatty acids, all these lipids are critical. Especially omega-3. Okay, so omega-3 plus autophagy and all that coming to kick in again. You actually, if not improve, at least it will not allow it to actually get worse.
Okay. Another question is, may I know, can we do very often? How long doing the body much better?
How you can actually, you don't want to do it to the point whereby you are losing too much weight too quickly. Okay, unless you have got tens of kilos, too many that you want to lose, over time. If you are in the bodily mass range of, the usual, which is, I would think, fairly healthy, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, or even low, high 70s to 80s, that's fine. You can do it as regular as you want to. Okay, but I would probably do it like once a month. Okay, at least you activate it once a month, you'll be good. Okay, like some people they follow, you can do once a week. Okay, but if not, let's say if you want to do this 72 hours, you want to really use this as a guideline, as a template for your future fasting, then you try to do at least once a month. That will be love. That will be quite nice if you can maintain that. The other thing is simply this, is that if you can, then on a daily basis, just lengthen the time a bit. Doesn't have to be that 18 now, okay? On a regular basis, just lengthen it so that you don't take, and especially after the evening, night time, whereby you need to go to bed, right? This has already been recommended for a long time. That few hours, some use a figure 4 before heading to bed, right? Just tucking yourself into bed. Do not eat. If you can cut supper, especially those of us who has got habit, every night must eat supper. If not, you wake up 3 times at night because you're feeling hungry. That one you have to just try to, cold turkey through it. Okay? If you can just, first thing you do is totally stop the last intake, that few hours before sleep, that is already a very good start. Okay? Try to actually acquire that habit. So the rest, like for something like this period, I would recommend probably once a month, if you can, on yourself. All right, once a month, do this 18, 6, 72.
Another question is, can a thalassemia patient go for this program?
What's that?
贫血.
That one you better check with a physician. Some of them, because the thing is that you may feel faint. Okay, some of them because came along also with that. They're not high. They are not diabetic. They're not a high blood sugar. Okay, the A1C is actually too low. Then that one, no. That one we probably ask you to at least go for. Okay, we have got some do's and don'ts, right? I think for those of you who have registered, I wonder if you actually read through which are those people that's not recommended to actually go through this light fasting. We did, right? Or did we actually sort of like make them certify that, okay, you are none of the, the following conditions before you join? Okay? Anemic, so and all that, probably not. Okay, check with physician first. Because the thing is that we want to know, you will have to know exactly what is your usual, hemoglobin A1C, which is your blood sugar. If that blood sugar is too low, again, it's difficult. Because then you'll be feeling fainting, you have no energy. You can't even continue, right?
Yeah, there's a question from Sharon. Sharon, you can, yeah.
Yeah, because I tasted the Inchawell so sweet. Is it is sugar inside?
Okay, that's anyways natural as long as it's not processed, right? So it's probably the right. Okay, the way we actually put together, okay, the composition of all our superfoods, whether it's Inchagat, it's Inchawell, and all that. I think it's all based on nutritionist portions, so it should be healthy enough. No worries. It is not like few teaspoon of refined sugar dumped in there, or few teaspoon of fructose. Now those are the problems. I'm sure that none of our formulation in any of the Inchaway products has got stuff like that.
So it's safe,
Safe.
Okay, thank you.
If not, they will put that as well. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm totally certain, I'm totally confident, right, that the items, the ingredients that we put together for our program participants is not out to make money to sell products. Okay, it's to ensure that you go through this whole program safely and achieve some results at the end. Okay, that's definitely the objective.
How? Thank you.
Okay, maybe last 2 questions. I think it's like what, 10, 20 now?
Yeah, I think this one will be the last one. While doing light fasting, can we take keto supplement?
No.
Try not to no because during this period not, because keto supplement, all that again is additional. It's on people probably keto diets or for that. So for this one, just stick to this particular diet. I think it's better. We don't some other formulation, some other items to just complicate the whole thing. Because it's easier for us to control, from a caloric point of view, what's the intake over this 72 hours. You definitely be safe, okay? That person who's even on, let's say, keto diet or whatever, right? Because you're burning ketones. People like that, actually, you're doing quite okay, right? I would reckon that, people like that may not even have to do this fasting very often, right? But for some reason, because certain people have to go on keto diets because it's that, again, they are insulin resistant, it's quite bad condition that they have to simply just avoid all carbs, okay? If you want to participate in this one, then you simply just during that period, you actually adopt exactly what's recommended here. Unless what's recommended in thing again goes against what your physician recommend. Yeah. Okay, does it answer your question? I think that's it. So if you're on ketones, no, don't take any other thing. Don't take any other thing. If you want to just follow us through this light fasting, you stick with what's recommended. Okay?
Yeah, that's all. Yep.
Okay, thank everyone so much. Again, Happy New Year to all of you all. Thank you for sticking with us. This is 冰元宵，大家元宵节快乐啊！Just 1.5 hours ago, so called. But enjoy the rest of the year. May this year of the Golden Ox be a very fortuitous year for every one of you. Okay, we'll see. We may or may not be able to see some of you, face to face in the near future, but at least we can still continue to actually see all of you online. Okay, and then tomorrow we have an OPP, right, at the office.
Yeah, there's one. Melvin, you can unshare your slide. Because you're sharing your slide.
Am I? Oh, okay. Wait,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let me unshare my slide first.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, yep.
Yeah, that's all.
What's the question? Last question. Is it?
No more.
No more? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, thank you. So if you have got any, if you still want to leave any comments and all that, please leave in the chat so that we can go through it, right? And for whatever talks next time, so if we can help improve it, it will be better. Because we hope to be doing this regularly so that more people actually can learn about the technique to fast and why we need to fast, because that's the shortest cut, okay? As long as you are disciplined, you learn to be disciplined, that's the shortest cut, right, to being healthy, to losing weight. And you're going to lose it very healthily. Okay, that's melting. So everyone, cheers. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.